Are you distracted right now? Really, aren't there a bunch of other things you could be doing besides watching this video? Well, if you hang with me for the next few minutes, you're going to learn one of the critical differences between presenting online and presenting in person. And that's how to make the first minute count. Let's face it, online audiences are more distracted than in-person audiences. You might be watching this video right now on a train or sitting in a coffee shop or in your home office, but there are lots of other things that can pull your attention away. And so it's critical if you're the presenter and presenting online and wanting to hang on to that audience, get them first and then hang on to them, you've got to make the first minute count. So I'm going to give you a few ways to do that. And number one is to open strong. Skip all the pleasantries. Hello, my name is David. I'm glad to be here. Nobody cares. You've got to grab people with something that's so relevant and so important or shocking that they have to listen to you. 33% of people click away from an online video in the first 10 seconds. Now that's a great opening if you care about people clicking away from your video. Or start with a quote, maybe a dramatic quote or something that's relevant. Read it slowly with a little bit of emotion, and then pause afterwards. And then ask the audience why you used it and how they might be able to benefit from your core message. Which leads me to the next thing. Open strong with something that grabs their attention, and then state your core message clearly. You don't want to bury the lead, as they used to say in journalism. My core message today is. My main message for you today is. The key takeaway from this presentation is. Telegraph it, state it in 10 words or less right up front in your presentation. So, open strong, state your core message clearly, and then the third thing, which I don't see a lot of people do, is to make a time promise. Now, if you're trapped in a room in a 30-minute meeting or a 60-minute meeting with the door shut, out of common courtesy, most people aren't going to stand up, grab the stuff, and walk out of the room. But in an online presentation, you know this, people can slip out the back. Nobody's watching, they won't know it. Or I'll just turn off my camera and multitask on other things, which is the same thing as checking out. But if you make a time promise, like I did at the beginning, if you stay with me for the next 5 minutes, I'll give you some critical things that will help you. And then if you make that time promise, you better stick to it, because at 5:01, they're going to start checking their watches, checking their phones, and checking out. So open strong, state your core message, make a quick time promise, and stick to it. Then finally, get your audience involved right away. It's just so critical, even in the first minute. You're like, really, in 1 minute, I should do that? Yes. And you don't want to start with the old boring standby, raise your hand if you've ever, but it's cliche. People know it's kind of fake. Instead, if you're in an online meeting, try a chat poll. It's a great tool to get people to really think, write something down, and even the peer pressure of it will cause everyone to do it. So everybody, write in the chat right now. I'm going to give you 30 seconds of silence. I'd like you to write down how you've struggled with this particular issue. I'll wait. Then you pause and wait. And within a few seconds, they start showing up in the chat. You cherry pick a couple that are really good. Talk to that person. Make it conversational. You've already involved the audience, shown that you respect them, you care what they think, and they know they have to do a little bit of work too. That's a great technique. The other one, which is an old teacher trick, an old professor trick, is to just call on someone. Look at the participant list, the attendee list, and single someone out and say, Jerry, haven't heard from you in a while. What do you think? Of course, this is very situational and depends on the hierarchy in the room. You have to be careful with it. But it's another great way to let the audience know they might be next. So stay with me in the next 5 minutes. So those are just 4 ways that you can make the first minute count. Open strong, state your core message, get the audience involved, And make sure you follow through on that time promise. And if you do all those four things, your online presentation may be just as arresting and captivating as an in-person presentation. Make that first minute count.